You are listening to Eagles post-game analysis here at the Philadelphia Sports Table Podcast Show, the longest-running weekly Philly sports podcast show in the world, 12 years strong, and the Philadelphia Eagles have finished Week 2 of this 2025-2026 season with a win at Arrowhead in Kansas City, beating the Kansas City Chiefs by a score of 20-17. I cannot believe they won this game. I'm Jeff Warren here with my good friend Eric Leonard. We're going to be breaking down this game. Buddy, and it was an interesting game, and it was one where coming into it, I thought the Eagles were going to lose based on certain play last week against the Dallas Cowboys. Just the fact that, the Super Bowl winners, facing that team that has had their number in the past too. I figured this was going to be a loss. Did you feel the same way?
Yeah, looking at the schedule for the year. I had this one circled as a definite loss because, how many times does the team who won the Super Bowl goes and plays the team they just beat in that Super Bowl, but on the road, where that other team's pissed off, the crowd is wild. Like the Chiefs have awesome fans. That is a tough place to play. It was loud as hell. They have 3 titles, pedigree, and you got to give it to the Eagles, man. Like that is a 10-ton balls win to march into that fucking place where no one expected you to win that game. And the way you played last week against or 2 weeks ago against the Cowboys, like they were okay, but like walked away from the game. Like, I don't know, man, AJ Brown had 1 reception. Yeah. Don't know about the defense because they got lit up, but the defense this game, that was it. That was the whole story of this game. The offense did what they had to do. A couple tush pushes throughout the game to get first downs and a touchdown, but like, defense dominated, and that's the whole story of this game.
Yeah, that's the biggest theme of this game. I mean, going down to even Za'Darius Smith having a great game as well in his Eagles debut, just stuffing the run, making his presence very much known. I'm on this team right now. Eagles, you brought me in. I'm going to be a difference maker, and I'm going to have a positive impact. Andrew Mukuba with his interception in the fourth quarter helped just change momentum, of course. And I'm going to say this about Mukuba. He was so good today later in the game. I would say the second half. Andrew Mukuba definitely looked like a rookie in the first half of this game when he's not wrapping up some Chiefs offensive players, even Patrick Mahomes. You got to wrap up a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, who's scrambling out there and who's getting who's the Chiefs' leading rusher today. Then Mukuba comes out in the second half, makes a great tackle to stop a first down on the Chiefs' very first drive of the of that second half. And I think a lot of us in general, looking at this defense coming into the season, thought they would regress due to some talent not being on the team anymore, whether it was on the defensive line, whether it was in the secondary. You lose guys and you say, okay, certain guys need to step up. I think a lot of us are probably going to be wrong who initially thought that, Eric. I mean, this is a legit defensive unit going to Arrowhead Stadium on the road against this Chiefs team. When you're playing Patrick Mahomes, as this team has over past 5 years now or whatever it's been, they've stepped up so much. I mean, the rookies and the new guys at key spots on defense, it's only going to get better as the year goes on. And I think that's one of the biggest themes of this Week 2 game.
And it's good to focus on Mukuba right now because he represents like this is a youngish defense, Yeah, they lost some veterans, and you have to give Mukuba a pass on the first half. This is his first road game as an NFL player. They're going against the team they just beat in the Super Bowl, one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah,
and they're there, raucous crowd. He was shaking the first half, but he was awesome in the second half.
Yes.
And second round pick. And he just, Jihad Campbell looked good again. You just have to give it to, I'm going to give Howie some kudos here, man. Like the last 2 drafts defensively, DeJean, Mitchell, and Mukuba and Campbell, and before that Davis. And they're just all those guys he just drafted defensively, they dominated the game. They dominated the front. Mukuba had that incredible interception. It was huge. Turned the whole game around. He also had the sack, I believe, right? Yeah. Like that's just that was the one question mark. We talked about it before the season, like the secondary was a huge question. That was the biggest question of the team, and they were awesome today. I mean, Mahomes threw 187, 72 passer rating, ran for 36 yards. The rest of the team ran for 54 yards.
Yeah,
and like passing wise, like no one hurt them at all.
Right.
Like they give up that late touchdown, but whatever. Like it just, man. The biggest question of the year was the defense, and the offense is going to get going. You know, we'll talk about the offensive coordinator, what the hell he's doing.
Yeah.
But at least the Fangio has that defense where it needs to be. They had a shaky first game. Carter was out, but like to know the defense is probably in good shape makes me feel so much better as an Eagles fan going further.
Absolutely. Look, I mean, even we were feeling uncertainty about the defensive line, but then you have Jordan Davis absolutely stepping up in a big way with 5 total tackles on the game and 2 passes defended, getting his hands up there, getting his hands on the ball, getting into the backfield consistently throughout this game. And of course, you've got Jalen Carter, his first game of the season. He's wreaking havoc, even with an arm injury. Nolan Smith as well. I mean, we got to talk about Nolan Smith, how freaking awesome. Look, he blew up the Chiefs' 4th and 1 attempt from Kansas City's own 36-yard line as they were starting the second half. He is becoming a violent and strong player who is able to set the edge and consistently doing that. Nolan Smith is going to be one of the top pass rushers and defensive linemen in this league in the very near future. I'm almost positive of that.
And no free agents. It's all the guys they drafted, like homegrown.
Yep.
And here's the thing. I've always been a big, like the early 90s Eagles, late 80s, like the defense was always my favorite. Loved Randall, but like dominant, mean defenses, I've just always been in love with as an Eagles fan.
Yeah.
This defense is mean. They're nasty. Like they don't take shit. I don't know if you saw the footage that came out like 2 weeks ago of Nolan Smith. He was interviewed about when he got hurt in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And the guy, the trainer was like, "No, you're done for the day." And he just goes, "Who the fuck you talking to? Go get a fucking brace. I'm going out." Like, fuck. I saw that. I'm like, whoa, this team is mean.
Yes.
And they have the perfect defensive coordinator for it. And it just makes me so happy as an Eagles fan, because as the offense gets going, it's definitely chugging along. Right. Thank God for Saquon. Please stay healthy, Saquon.
Yes.
Beyond that, they really had nothing today besides like Devontae Smith had a great catch, but not much there. And I mean, I'm hoping Dallas Goedert's return will kind of spark the offense a little more, but that defense is mean, and they totally dominated the game, and they're the whole reason the team won today.
Yeah. And it's great to give Patrick Mahomes his 3rd straight loss in a row. It's the first time since he was at Texas Tech where he's actually had 3 straight games for a loss. And yes, he was putting this Chiefs team on his shoulders, but it's interesting if you go back and listen to the Opposition Territory show and the pregame preview show, we were talking about Patrick Mahomes. Is he able at this point in his career to put the entire team on his shoulders and come out victorious? And our guest actually was saying, I don't know if that's really possible anymore. We saw that today. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, only, like you mentioned, Eric, only 187 yards. He averaged 6.4 yards per attempt. Yes, he did throw a touchdown. It was a huge bomb to Tyquan Thornton. But still, he did not have the type of game where he was able to put the team on his shoulders. Yes, they do not have a lot of weaponry right now with Rashee Rice and with Xavier Worthy not being out on the field with injuries. But I think this is a pivotal moment, for the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't think even Patrick Mahomes scoring a rushing touchdown, having 66 yards on the ground on 7 carries, is able to really put this team on his shoulders anymore. We could be seeing that transition here starting.
Here's a big thing I noticed. The offseason, they revamped their offensive line, the Chiefs, after they got walloped in the Super Bowl. Everyone talked about how much stronger it was going to be. And when the Chiefs were really good, they were able to run the ball too, to relieve the pressure off of Mahomes so he can make the passes. And man, I haven't seen that yet last week or this week from them at all. Yeah. And the Chargers probably have a really good defense. There's only one game, and they shut the running game down, and we did too. Like just stomp the rushing attack whatsoever, and like they need that to keep. Like they have enough weapons. I don't want to hear about the Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy thing. Like you have weapons there, and you've won 3 Super Bowls with like not the greatest weapons in the world.
Yeah.
You can't run the ball, and maybe it's the teams you were playing, but the Eagles absolutely shut the run down, and that was the whole game because he had no one to throw to. But he has what? So they might be in a lot of trouble. Like that was one of my takeaways from the game. Like, this is not but they might win 5 straight. Who the hell knows?
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're that good. But like, if they can't run the ball, they're in deep, deep shit without those 2 receivers.
Let's move over to the Eagles offense now, Eric, because that's another theme of this game. Holy cow. Kevin Patullo, his passing game, the passing game that we saw from him and the play calling from him was very reminiscent of the Philadelphia Eagles passing game offense from back in 2023, which wasn't a lot of fun to watch at all. I mean, the passing concepts that he was instituting throughout this game, and even last week against the Cowboys, they're not highlighting the talent on this team. When you have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, the Chiefs defense was blitzing the hell out of Jalen Hurts. I know at halftime it was at 63% of snaps they were blitzing him, and you don't have a wide receiver on a hot route somewhere. Like what the hell is going on? What are we doing? At the half, the Eagles offense of main players in Hurts, Barkley, and A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts was 12 of 17 for 62 yards, 3.6 yards per attempt. Barkley had 6 carries for 30 yards and a touchdown, but A.J. Brown had 7 targets at the half, 5 receptions, and you're like, oh, all right, yeah, I like that. But for 27 yards, like what the hell are we doing here? Like what type of route concepts are you coming up with and instituting during the game? A.J. Brown, he had 5.4 yards per reception in this game. That's unacceptable to me, who's a fan of this team and this offense, who has the capability of putting up some huge yards. And yes, they won the game. I'm complaining about this, but if it's persistent, teams are going to start realizing it, understanding it, knowing how to defend the Eagles better than the Chiefs did. And, 101 yards of passing by Jalen Hurts isn't going to get it done. So the offense was sputtering. And again, I really blame Kevin Patullo for this very lackluster and vanilla type of offense that we saw. I don't know. It kind of just sucked watching it.
Yeah. And at one point, Tom Brady said, who's, by the way, when are we all going to just,
he ain't going anywhere. I'll tell you though.
He is terrible. It's really embarrassing that Greg Olsen did the Cowboys Giants game.
Yeah.
And he's awesome. Like he is miles ahead of Brady. And your feature game of the week, you bring out this mannequin in a suit. Like his forehead doesn't move. His hair is obviously teriyaki fake, and what he says matches his look. He's just like, oh my God.
Yes.
Anyway, but he did say at one point, is like AJ Brown has run the same slant route like 8 times this quarter.
Yes.
And I'm like, AJ Brown was a beast last year.
Yes.
Like one time, send him. Like,
or a deep post route. Yes.
You might get a PI on the defender.
Yes.
Like just send him. But like 1 yard slant, 5 yard catch, like the whole game. Like, what are we doing? Poo Lou.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. All right. But no, it is very vanilla. And last week I did think, okay, well, they got the Cowboys at home. They're probably going to win. The offense was kind of plain because they're saving things up for the Chiefs game because Andy Reid is a master playmaker before a game. Like he has a nice script to every game. And Papula came out and just did the same shit as last week. Without the tush push, they lose this game by what? 7-10 points?
Probably.
Easily? Yeah. I mean, it's his second game. I'm willing to wait, but if by week 4 we're doing the same shit, I'm like, okay, what's happening? This is not good. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, they did what they needed to do to win in this game at the end of the day, but I think it was the very first play of the game. They had Grant Calcaterra was absolutely toasted as a pass blocker. They opened up the game in 12 personnel. There's 2 tight ends out there blocking. I'm not sure, I'm thinking to myself, why are you leaning into these heavy tight end sets with Dallas Goedert being out? Because Grant Calcaterra and Kylan Granson, they're not strong blockers at all. We know this. In fact, Grant Calcaterra really stinks with his pass blocking, and you're going to open up the game in 12 personnel like that. I was just very it's baffling. And yes, I'm a coach on my couch watching this and thinking this stuff, but they definitely need to make some adjustments. So do you have anything else for the offense, buddy? I just want to talk about special teams before we go to the break and before we get into our grades. But do you have anything else for the offense?
Well, as a fellow bird chest and cinema stick leg person,
yes.
You go 12-man personnel, and your 2 tight ends are like 6'2", 200. I know they're bigger than that, but why? That's not their forte. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. I noticed it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, before we go to break, I just wanted to mention special teams. When we get to the grades, man, I am going to be glowing about special teams. You've got Braden Mann, who is what a fantastic punter. He had a 70-yard punt in the first quarter. I could not believe that 70-yard punt. He was consistently putting the Chiefs deep in their territory. After several Eagles drives ended up stalling. 58-yard field goal by Jake Elliott right before the half. Last season, he was 1 of 7 from 50-plus yards, as we all remember. Right now, this season, he is 3 for 3. Jake Elliott is back for sure. He's back. So I just wanted to mention that. I mean, special teams are going to get a glowing grade from me.
Well, in a 3-point game, special teams are gigantic. And Jake Elliott, man, just the man.
Yes.
Had a rough season last year, killed it in the playoffs. So far this year, he's killing it again.
Yep.
And that 70-yard punt actually was one of the probably top 5 or 6 plays of the game, because it was a field goal or a field position kind of game, and he buried them on a 70-yarder.
Yes.
And just surprising, because Jake Elliott's probably at that point in his career where you're like, should we start looking younger? Should we start finding somebody else? And man, and I don't know where the hell they find Braden Mann, by the way.
I know.
I have no idea who he is.
Yes. Amazing play. So, all right, folks, we are going to take a break. And when we get back, we're going to grade each unit as we always do. Stick with us. All right, we are back, and we're going to dive into our grades. We're going to start off with the quarterback position. Jalen Hurts, 15 of 22 for 101 yards, as we mentioned earlier, 4.6 yards per attempt. He ended with a rating of 78. I'm giving Jalen Hurts a C+ this week. This goes to what we were talking about with Kevin Patullo, his game calling. But then again, we did see Jalen Hurts holding on to the ball. These wide receivers were not able to get open for whatever reason. Again, I think it's more play concepts and route concepts, I should say. But Jalen Hurts, I'm going to give him a C+, could be a B- around there. I don't know. What are you giving Hurts? Think I'm being too tough on him?
I'd say a B- just because the whole tush push thing saved the entire game, and it's all on him.
Well, the offensive line though too. I mean, the offensive line.
Yeah, but he just can't fumble it, and he's the one that squats 500 pounds or whatever.
Yes.
And honestly, I think he's hamstrung by the offensive coordinator right now. I think he's still trying to figure out what the hell this guy wants.
Yeah.
Because he was so much more fluid last year offensively. Him and the receivers were on the same page all the time for the most part. This year, they look like they've never played together so far. But again, I give me week 4 or 5 until I'm in panic mode. What the fuck are we doing offensively?
Yeah.
So
okay. Running back position, Saquon Barkley, 22 carries for 88 yards, average 4 yards per carry, 1 touchdown. A.J. Dillon ended up getting 3 carries for 19 yards. He averaged 6.3 yards per carry. I'm going to give the running backs, because they did what they needed to do in this game, I'm going to give them a B+. What do you get? It could be an A-. They did what they should have done in this game. So I'll probably just go B+. What do you give them?
Same thing. I mean, offensive line played well, and honestly, they might get an A- just because they got no help from the receivers at all. Yeah. Whether that be due to the play calling or Hurts or whatever, but Saquon, again, like along with the defense, it was pretty much Saquon and the defense that saved this game, along with the Hurts push.
Yep.
That first touchdown he had was a little bit of a backbreaker for KC. I felt the crowd I was outside grilling. I had the speaker way up high, and the whole beginning of the game was like, and then Saquon scored that touchdown, and it kind of went a little bit,
just deflated him. Yeah,
kind of evened it out. And after that, it was like it was a game, and the crowd never super got back into it. So like I'll give him an A- because of Saquon.
Okay. Yep. All right, that's fair. All right, wide receivers, Devontae Smith, 6 targets on the day, came down with 4 balls for 53 yards. He had the long 28-yarder, which was a fantastic in terms of just looking for the ball, coming down with that catch. Should have been a penalty, by the way he was tackled on that. I just wanted to say that. Refs missing a lot of different penalties in this game on both sides of the ball. Officiating was absolutely horrendous. A.J. Brown, 8 targets, 5 balls for 27 yards, 5.4 yards per reception. Grant Calcaterra was targeted twice. He came down with 1 ball. Saquon Barkley targeted twice as well. You had some other receivers with 1 target. Kylan Granson, Jahan Dotson, John Mechie as well. Doing a whole lot of nothing. I'm not sure why Howie trades for wide receivers who he doesn't get, who aren't really involved in the game. Jahan Dotson and John Mechie are 2 of those guys. But wide receivers this week, I'm going to give them a C. I really want to see, and I do this every week. I go back and watch, find on YouTube, find some tape and some video of the game. I want to see if these wide receivers weren't able to get open, if they were open. And again, the route concepts that Kevin Patullo is implementing during the game, I'm not too sure what's going on here. These numbers are not great by any stretch. That's why I'm going to give him a C+. What do you give him?
D+. I mean, Poo-Poo Hole did not give him much to work with. But you would think like at least one of those like 7 or 8 slants that A.J. Brown ran, he could break one for 20 some yards.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I maybe they were playing because I mean, was Hurts really under any pressure that game? Didn't seem like it. They seemed.
Well, they were blitzing him a lot.
Yeah, but they weren't when they weren't blitzing. They were all over the receivers because the receivers killed them.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl, but like didn't see much. D+ just because it almost like an incomplete grade.
Yeah.
But again, like let's see if we can like air it out next week. Like, is the Rams secondary solid, or can we like attack it? I don't know, but like very boring the first 2 weeks for the receivers, like really bad.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's move to the offensive line. I'm going to give them an A-. I would say it would have been a straight up A or A+, quite frankly, but there were some penalties, and Landon Dickerson held up. And that was a theme that we were going into this week. Can he hold up? Because he is such an integral part of this offensive line. I mean, all 5 guys certainly are, but Landon Dickerson held up, didn't come out of the game. I'm giving the offensive line an A-. What do you give them?
Yeah, same grade. They kept Hurts upright for most of the game. I think only had they 1 sack, the Chiefs, pretty much.
2 sacks.
2 sacks. Okay,
yep.
But he wasn't under a lot of pressure.
Yep.
And even when they blitzed, like, I mean, 2 sacks, and like that defensive coordinator, he likes to blitz like crazy.
Yep.
To hold them to 2 sacks, and he was never really under a ton of pressure. And the running game was pretty much the only thing they had on, going on offensively. And you're right about Landon Dickerson. When I heard his name called in the first quarter, they made a nice block. I was like, thank God he's playing.
Yeah, I know.
Because he's been dinged up. He got dinged up last week. He was holding his back like I thought he was paralyzed. Like it was over.
He had that back. He's had that back injury since the preseason. So and
he has the same mentality as the defense. He's just a dog. He's an asshole.
Yes,
and he just refuses to go out. And that's right now. Like that's why this team's winning. Honestly, on toughness.
He loves his John Deere tractor. Tell you that. All right, let's move to the defense. Defensive line. I mean, you're putting pressure on Patrick Mahomes, and yes, unfortunately, he's getting out of the pocket, rushing for 66 yards. He was their leading rusher, but like overall, I mean, you have 2 sacks, and one of those was Andrew Mukuba, so that wasn't even the D line right there. But the D line allowed for Andrew Mukuba to get that sack. I think it was a fantastic game from the defensive line overall, just getting in the backfield, pressure, on Mahomes. I'm giving him an A. What do you give him this week?
It's an A. And the game that Jalen Carter had was a classic. Like back in the late 80s, early 90s, like Jerome Brown used to have games where he had 3 tackles and no sacks.
Yeah.
But if you watch the game, you're like, well, he was the whole reason Clyde Simmons had 2 sacks. He's the whole reason Mike Pitts had a sack. Like they put all the attention on him, and Jalen Carter just blew up the middle, allowed Jordan Davis to attack.
Yep.
Like again to Howie, how the hell do we get Za'Darius Smith signed?
I know.
And I watch football. I'm like, there's teams that have no pressure at all, like the bad teams.
Yeah.
How is he not signed?
Right.
As a veteran to bring in, like, I again, one of those names are like, he should be on a team. How did Howie do this? Like,
I know.
The defensive line set the tone for the entire game.
Yes.
And it's the strength of our team right now. Big, like by far.
Look, there were 10 quarterback hits by the Eagles in this game, the majority coming from the defensive line. You had Jalen Carter with 3, Moro Ojomo with 2, Za'Darius Smith had 1, Zach Bond had 1. Well, he's linebacker too, but like Jihad Campbell had 1 as well. Jalix Hunt had a quarterback hit. Like there are 10 total quarterback hits. Patrick Mahomes is going to be feeling something tomorrow. He's not going to be feeling too good. And this defensive line is the reason why.
And think about it. They lost pretty much 3 starters from last year's team.
Yeah.
With
Josh Sweat, Milton Williams,
and Brandon Graham.
Yeah.
They lost, like Josh Sweat was their ace, the guy that goes against the sacks. And they also lost, what's his face, that never played last year.
Yes.
Like that was 4 defensive linemen, and they haven't lost a beat. In fact, they're like nastier so far. I mean, Nolan Smith and Jihad Campbell on either end. Good luck.
I know.
With those 2 guys in the middle, blasting the middle of your line, and those 2 come in like maniacs, and then you bring Mukuba on a blitz from the back. Jesus Christ.
I know.
I'd be scared if I was an offensive coordinator.
We should also be scared of the linebackers. So let's grade them. Or I should say teams should be scared of the linebackers because, I mean, holy cow, Zach Bond, another great day as always. And Jihad Campbell as well. These guys are fantastic. The linebacker core is actually a positive on this team, like significantly, as we know. I'm going to give the linebackers an A this week. What do you give them?
Oh, an A. I mean, the whole defense is going to get an A.
Yeah.
And for years, like Eagles were renowned for like, we don't need linebackers. It's stupid. Like,
right.
But they won the Super Bowl in 2017. Their linebackers were awesome. Just remember that. And now they're like I think we talked about in the offseason, like, what are the keys to Eagles success in this offseason? Like you had on the list, Zach Bond being re-signed. And I think I said Josh Sweat was more important. Well, I'm wrong because I'm an idiot. Zach Bond is so key to this defense and everything Fangio wants to do. He holds everything up in the middle. And again, your middle is Bond, Davis, and Carter.
Yeah.
That just, man, I don't know what you do as an offense. Like
I know.
The Cowboys like blew up, but I want to see it next week with the Rams. Like I know they're going to be out for revenge because it's we beat them in the playoffs, but
your
quarterback's 36. He has a bad back.
Yep.
I wouldn't want to play this defense third week at home.
Yeah. Yeah. And moving over to the secondary in terms of the grades, Eric, I'm actually going to give this secondary an A-. And that's saying a lot given Quinyon Mitchell giving up that touchdown pass, even though I don't think it was his fault. I think Reed Blankenship probably should have stayed with Thornton. I want to go back and look at that. But overall, the secondary performed pretty damn well. And of course, when you have Andrew Mukuba doing what he did in this game, specifically the second half, I'm going to give this unit an A-. What do you give them?
An A. Like,
okay.
I mean, you take away that Thornton touchdown. And I think that was Blankenship's cover screw up, but
yeah,
whatever. Like how many yards was that for? Thornton's 49 yards.
It was 49-yard touchdown. Yeah.
Take that away, and Mahomes threw for what, 125?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it was a broken coverage, got the touchdown, but like at that point you had the game kind of wrapped up. But again, take that away, and Mahomes was shitty, like just flat out. Like it just
was not
very
great.
Good. No.
Not great at all. All right, well, let's grade the coaches here, and we'll start with special teams. Like I mentioned earlier, with Jake Elliott, 3 of 3 from 50-plus yards this season. You've got your punter punting 70-yarders. I'm giving them an A+. Special teams gets an A+ this week.
Yeah, it's an A+. It's not even close. Yeah.
Defensive coaching. I mean, holy cow. We just talked about how this was the defensive game. This is A+ completely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A+. Yep.
Yeah. Not much else we can say.
No.
All right. Now, Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni with the offense. I am going to be going with a C- on this one here. And it could be a D+, but again, I just want to start seeing something else. I want to start seeing more juice next week against the Rams. They're getting a C-. They did, with what this team has in terms of talent, they did enough to not only survive, but to get by on the road. Yes, there's something to say about that as well, but the defense kept you in the game. They were the dominant unit. I think it's C- for me in terms of the offensive coaching. What do you give Patullo and Sirianni here?
Well, I'm going to split the grade. Patullo gets a D+. Hated the offensive play calling. Sirianni, B+.
Okay.
I like the challenge call. He's in charge of the whole thing. He's proven like he's not just a coordinator coach like Dougie P was. Mm-hmm. I think last week and this week, going on the road and beating Andy Reid in their house with that defense, and the offense was kind of was flaccid. Like he's probably a top 3 or 4 coach in the NFL
right now. Yeah.
Which a couple of years ago, I'm like, yeah, this guy might get fired. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. Week 3 last year, everybody was like, he should probably be fired at this point. Yeah.
And now he's toned down the rhetoric. He's still fist pumps and stuff.
Yeah.
But just the way he manages the team. Like I said, I like the challenge. He was all over it. I think if Poo-Poo Hole can get his offense going, like I think Sirianni's going to get a little more hands-on maybe, because like he's got to recognize like this is not we barely won that game. We barely won the Cowboys game. Probably should have won both games by more points. So again, like it was Poo-Poo Hole an offense coordinator before this? Is this first time?
First time. I mean, he's been in the Eagles organization. Yeah. He's been an offensive coach, but not an offensive coordinator calling plays.
Yeah, and maybe Sirianni has to step in a little bit and like kind of start to, nudge him a certain direction. But I'm very impressed with Nick Sirianni. Can't believe it. Mm-hmm. Even from last year, when I was probably on the show saying he should be fired. Fuck this guy. But yeah, he's legit, and this team is legit. That is a tough win.
It's week 2, and AJ Brown only has 35 yards on the season. That's a problem. That's a problem for me. And Poo-Poo Hole, as you're saying, something needs to happen here. So
that's right. I'm in 5th grade still.
Yes,
Poo-Poo Hole is.
Poo-Poo Hole needs to do something. Right now, I'm going to be calling him that constantly, even around my kids.
Poo-Poo Hole needs to do something.
Whoa, yes. All right, buddy. Do you have anything else for this game before we head out of here?
No, I can't wait for next week's game. Yeah. If I can do the post game, I will, because to me, because the Rams had this game circled as soon as the schedule came out.
Yep.
They think deep down they should have beat us in the playoffs. I think differently. I love that they're going to come in with their chests puffed out, like we got this. We owe you.
Yeah.
And your decrepit quarterback is going to get murdered. By this defensive line. It's going to happen. Jihad Campbell's going to kill you. Nolan Smith's going to kill you. I'm really looking forward to it.
Jalen Carter is going to freaking eat next week, I think. I think he really is.
Because he didn't eat this game, and he didn't play the first game. I think if he hears one word, like from Verse or somebody on the Rams, Carter's one of those guys, it's like, what the fuck did you just say to me? Like, I will kill you. Like, I'm hoping somebody opens their mouth this week, because he will come out and murder them.
All right. Great way to end this Eagles post-game podcast show. Again, week 2 of this season now in the books. Philadelphia Eagles beating the Kansas City Chiefs on the road in Arrowhead Stadium by a score of 20-17. The Eagles are 2-0 on the season and atop of the NFC East. That's going to do it for us, folks. Take care, and we will catch you next time.